Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. This is going to be a Mike's Instant Movie Review, live interactive fun. It's Thursday morning, East Coast USA, EDT or EST. It's 12:49 a.m. Tuesday morning, or Thursday morning, I should say. But I still feel like it's Wednesday night, because that's how I'm living. I did have some people watching earlier. I did a nice "What's in the Box" video, and some folks might be tuning in. And if you are tuning in, please do. But Watcher is the film that I saw tonight in the theater. I I actually go to movie theaters, folks. I know a lot of people just stream and watch at home and Netflix and chill, but I actually go to movie theaters. Where I live, they have subscriptions to these movie theaters. You can actually pay a monthly fee, pretty nominal, around 21 bucks is the going rate, and you can see more or less all the movies. AMC's deal is 3 movies a week. Regal is unlimited. Yes, there are certain events like Fathom special events that are not involved. My old buddy here, Matt Lendak, representing Rutgers and so forth, Leibowitz, all the classics. Good buddy of mine, Matt Lendak. So yes, theaters are the best, Matt, especially today. I had a late start to my day. I was doing things. I was washing laundry. I was doing certain things, but I was really fucking hot because today was about 92, maybe even more in Florida. Yes, I'm currently in Jacksonville, Florida. And it was really hot today, buddy. Are you talking about Leibowitz? I mean, would you imagine if me and Leibowitz started hanging out in Florida? But yeah, I'm in Florida too, buddy, Jacksonville. And AEW town, Mike Messier town, Tom Brady followed me here. I was here. Then 6 months later, Tom Brady followed my footsteps. Very interesting. I'll have to look them up in the phone book. Leibowitz. Do they still make phone books? I think they still do, believe it or not. So what happened? Well, Matt, first of all, I'd refer you to my other video tonight, buddy. I just had a "What's in the Box" with some 1985 World Class Championship Wrestling photographs. Kerry Von Erich, Kevin Von Erich, the Dingo Warrior, who became the Ultimate Warrior, Ricky Vaughn, Lance Von Erich. Uh, what else? But this movie, The Watcher, let's talk about it. I don't know if you've seen it, Matt, or if you're planning to see it. If you like, definitely leave your young child at home. I know you have a young daughter now with your wonderful wife. Don't see this movie with your child. It's not a good movie for uh, kids. This is a real horror film. Um, and it's what you would call a realism film. It's not a creepy boogie. I mean, it is a creepy boogeyman, but it's not Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger or who's the other one? Michael Myers. Um, Basically, this poor woman. Oh, congratulations! That's wonderful. Matt Lendeck celebrating his 14th anniversary as his lovely wife. They met at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, which I've actually been back to a few times, Matt, to the old campus. It looks like they've put a lot of money into that campus, because it's bigger now than it ever was, and there's more buildings, and it looks like there's more parking decks, and Yum Yums is still there. What you call it? Um, that burger place we used to go to is still there. Biff Burger. The collectible store is gone. The comic book store I used to go to has moved closer to the campus and so forth. Um, what else? Guilford College is still there, of course, right nearby. But yeah, happy anniversary to you and Anita. That's terrific. Very good. So let's go back to this movie. The Watcher. Don't bring your kid. Not a good movie for the little girl. Um, and to be honest with you, I actually screamed out loud during this movie. I won't spoil it and say when, but there was a key point late in the film where your buddy here, Messier, actually screamed uh, pretty like out of like a guttural reaction because the special effect or whatever was really good. Uh, That's true, buddy. We did see a Vader versus Nikita Koloff match. I think in Winston Salem, and I think we saw Ron Simmons and Ricky Steamboat defend the WCW Tag Team title in a rare instance because they weren't the champions, against Big Van Vader and Danny Spivey, and we saw Ric Flair versus Sting and so forth. We saw Terry Funk on that show. We saw the debut of Alex Wright going to a 15-minute draw with beautiful Bobby Eaton. I remember that Big Van Vader and the Big Boss Man were scheduled to show up to that Greensboro show, and they no-showed, which upset me. Actually, the biggest thing we went to was the strap match, Super Brawl 3, which I've done a video on. I've done a video on that experience. Vader versus Sting, Barry Windham defeating Great Muta for the NWA World Heavyweight title, and so on and so forth. Now, I don't think we ever saw Dusty Rhodes compete. I think we saw his son, Dustin Rhodes, compete. I don't think we ever saw Dusty compete at that point, but I could be wrong, man. I remember we saw Dustin, but I don't think we saw Dusty. Dusty had been retired. He did have a few comeback matches around that time, but I don't think we saw any of them. Michael A.J. Norris is chiming in. Well, very interesting, buddy. I've seen some YouTube videos about this stuff. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit, there were some talks of a sequel that never did happen. I remember watching, there's like some channels that I like, Defunct Land is a good one that talks about defunct, like adventure parks and stuff like that. Oh, you saw Dusty Rhodes and Raleigh. Very interesting, buddy. In a match or just like walking around? You'll have to explain more. He wrestled in a small promotion. Oh, very interesting, buddy. Very interesting. Well, you got me beat. I wasn't there for that one. I remember seeing Ivan Koloff wrestle in Mount Airy, one of his many retirement matches. As far as this Roger Rabbit thing goes, buddy, I know that. I've heard that. There's reasons why they haven't done a sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think the logistics of it all and so forth. And then, the time just kind of ran out. But these days, I mean, we just had a Top Gun sequel, 35 years in the making or whatever. So who knows? I mean, Roger Rabbit could be due. They had a Space Jam sequel. Oddly enough, I never saw the original Space Jam. I still haven't seen it. I went to the LeBron version, and I took a nice nap, and slept a whole lot. When I woke up, the audience was actually clapping. So those people in the theater besides me liked it. Yeah, man. I'll be honest with you, buddy. I'm not watching NXT these days. I'm watching the network specials. Hey, what's up, Laza? Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Happy birthday to Laza. He recently went to looks like a hell of a good steakhouse or like a barbecue place in Australia. Was it Rick's Steakhouse or something like that? Looked killer. Matt Lendeck is not a LeBron fan. Well, the Lakers did not even make the playoffs this year. I just watched the Celtics surprisingly win a game 3, so they're up 2-1 over Golden State. And it looks very dominant for the Celtics here, winning 2 of the first 3 games, 1 on the road. Very interesting. They definitely have the advantage in the series now. You can't take that away from them. So I go to this movie. First of all, I get to the theater, and I'm hungry, and so then I go into this place. It's like supposed to be like a health food type of fast food. They're supposed to make you. Didn't see it, buddy. I did hear about it, but I didn't see it. The Judgment Day Edge and Finn thing. I didn't see it yet. I go into this bowl thing. They're supposed to make you a bowl of food, like. Spring mix and all this shit, and like I was gonna get maybe shrimp or whatever the fuck on top, and so I'm trying to order, and basically I'm the first. It's just rough. I mean, I get in there, it's very unclear where are you supposed to stand, where are you supposed to order. There's 2 different lines, so I'm just kind of standing there looking at the menu, trying to get this lady's attention. She's working with somebody else. Then she finally looks over to me. She looks at me like I'm a fish out of water, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to order. And she's like, oh, well, tell that guy what you want. Once that lady's done, then I look over, and this woman with a child, an infant, in a crib or a roller or something, a wheelchair or wheelbarrow. She has this baby in there. This lady has basically snuck in front of me with her child, and is now about to order from this guy. Now, where was this guy when I was here for 5 minutes, standing here like a fucking asshole? So I look at her. So there's her. There's a guy behind her. I don't know if that's her husband or just some random guy. I'm like, okay, I guess I just got fucked because I was here before all these assholes, and now because I didn't know where the special line was that doesn't exist, I'm not going to be able to order anytime soon. So I looked around. I said underneath my breath, fuck this, and I left. And then I just kept on going. I entered the AMC Mall, the Orange Park Mall, Orange Park, Florida, home of many shootings recently. So I go into this, not the mall, but just the area. So I go into the fucking mall. I'm walking around, and it's one of these things where I've been in this mall a few times, but I haven't gone down every hallway and corridor. You know what I mean? I haven't gone down everything. I believe you, buddy, on that. Matthew McConaughey, wow, what a speech he had yesterday. So I'm walking around this goddamn mall. I'm like, yes, it's 1988. I'm in a shopping mall. There's kiosks. And then I find a fucking food court of all things. So I'm thinking, okay, I don't know if they have any free Chinese food with fucking toothpicks. That's always my favorite. Uh, what's your favorite food? Toothpick food in the fucking food court. So I go in. The first place I see that has, because now I'm looking at the movie. It's like 6:20, and the movie starts at 6:30. So I have to hurry the fuck up. And just this walk to this food court took 5 minutes. So I see the first thing I see is this vegan place, like Kitchen Vegan, vegan. So I go up. It's a green-haired girl is working there, and there's no one else there. Surprise, surprise. And everything is overpriced, and everything is like vegan ribs, vegan pork chops, vegan fucking lamb. And I'm just like, I don't want to eat non-meat that's supposed to taste like meat. I'd rather just eat something that's supposed to be tasting what it is. So they had this fucking vegan. Yeah, please do, buddy. It sounds good. But the point is, I'm trying not to eat meat because a couple of years ago, when I lost a lot of weight, it was because I was basically a pescatarian. I was eating fish and shrimp and no fucking meat. And then I started eating meat again. It was actually fucking Biff Burger, Matt, in Greensboro that I went to, and I started getting all these pounds back. So I'm going to try to go meatless again. So I go to this fucking vegan chick, the green-haired girl, and I'm basically ordering two side items. I'm ordering mac and cheese, which is not mac nor cheese. It's vegan mac and cheese, and vegan black beans. And then she asked me if I want some fucking rice under it. There's these two little goddamn things, and they're basically $7 each. So then I said, I said, do you have any water? Like just fucking tap water? She's like, no, we have bottled water. I'm like, okay, I'll pass. I'll just get a fucking drink in the movie theater, which I still have, believe it or not. So I get the fucking food, and I'm started talking to her, and I'm like, hey, how long have you been a vegan? And she's like, she lit up like a Christmas tree. Probably the first time anyone had a conversation with her in hours. And then she's saying something about her girlfriend, and her fucking girlfriend was buying her food and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, great. So then I take my goddamn food. I sit down. Now, this is a fucking food court thing. And I'm sitting at a table by myself, like on the foamy side of the table, like the bench side of the table. And I'm kind of positioned so I'm diagonally looking out into the atmosphere. And I start eating this food, and it's fucking good. Like, it's really tasty. It's good. It does have a little bit of that vegan food feel where everything tastes like a little crunchy, like a little granola-y. But it was good. It was really tasty. And then I'm about halfway done, and this woman comes over and sits at the fucking table next to mine, at the chair diagonally across from me. So she's right in my view of the air that I'm looking into. Yes, exactly. Well, I think the Jumping Bomb Angels should get that title back, buddy. So she's basically right in my fucking viewpoint. Like, I'm looking out to the world, and she's right there. And I'm like, is she sitting here because she wants me to talk to her? Is she going to ask me for money? What's going on here? Well, she basically just fucking sits there. And then she gets on her phone, and then she's calling someone and leaving a voice message. I appreciate that, buddy. I do. And basically saying she's talking to someone. She's leaving a voice message and saying, "Hi, it's me. I'm back in the States, and I have a new job and a new car. And I really want to tell you about this. So please call me back as soon as you can for this opportunity." So this lady's like trying to get one of her friends into some multi-level marketing scam or some fucking bullshit. And I'm wondering, was that even a real phone call, or is she like planting that phone call and she's gonna hit me up to join her fucking Amway scam or some whatever the fuck shit? There's actually a TV series, How to Be a God in Central Florida. It was on Amazon Prime a couple of years ago with what's her name, Kelly or Kim, one of these blonde, Kirsten Dunst. If you look into that great episode about multi-level marketing scams in the 90s in Florida. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm just eating my fucking food, and I'm like, I guess I have to leave now because I don't want this woman talking to me. I fucking get my fucking stuff and I throw it all away. And there was the lady like put so many beans in my fucking thing that a lot of the beans spilled on the table. But she didn't give me any fucking napkins. She gave me like a little fork and a spoon and one fucking napkin in the thing. And I just, yeah, good point. Well, I'll agree with Brian on that one. To be honest with you, yeah, Amway is pretty bad. So I fucking leave there. Brian's like a bureaucrat in North Carolina now, so who knows? He probably works with people that are in Amway and who do cocaine. So good shout out to him. So then I'm going back and I'm just fucking paratrooping over to the movie theater, and now it's like 6:40. The movie started at 6:30. The movies here have a hell of a lot of previews. You get like a 20-minute buffer of previews and ads and Nicole Kidman and all this stuff. So I fucking get to the theater. I take the time to get a beverage because I know I'm going to be parched because I just ate food without a beverage. Now I'm going to want a beverage. I get in the goddamn theater. I also got some goobers or some such thing. I don't know if they're vegan. And I get in the theater, and they're still having trailers. So I'm like 15 minutes late, but I have time to go to the restroom. I come back. Nicole Kidman's doing her pre-movie thing, and it's all very good. Yeah, vegetables are good, buddy. Hot vegetables, can't beat that. Hot carrots. So I fucking go into this goddamn movie theater, and I'm watching this movie. And basically, the movie Watcher is about this woman. She's married. She's a beautiful blonde. Hi, Matt. How you doing, buddy? I'm just getting to my Watcher movie review. So I'll get into this movie. It's basically this woman and her husband. They're in Romania. She does not speak the language. I don't know what the language is. I guess Spanish or French or Romanian. And her husband, I think Carl Guzman was the guy's name. He's been in a few things. This actress playing the wife, her name was like Maria Monroe. Very, very pretty blonde girl. But it's interesting because as attractive as she is, they cast a lot of attractive European women in this movie, even as the extras. So as beautiful as this Monroe actress is, some of these other actresses were even more stunning, which I think was a point that was done on purpose. And basically, she starts feeling very isolated. She does not speak the tongue, the language. She has no friends other than her husband. Her husband brings home work associates who speak in the foreign language and isolate her. She's feeling isolated and all this stuff. And then she starts seeing this creepy guy looking in through the fucking window across the street. And then she goes to the movies one day. She sees an Audrey Hepburn, Cary Grant movie, and she feels like there's a creep in the movie theater following her around. And then she goes to the grocery store, and the same guy's in the grocery store. And so she's getting these kind of hints and things. And then there's this story on the news about a series of beheadings, women getting beheaded by some creep, like some guys going around chopping women's heads off their fucking bodies. So she's getting it in her head that this guy that she keeps seeing around is the fucking killer. You know, the fucking the Scranton Strangler, so to speak. So she's getting all fucking nervous and paranoid. She's trying to tell her husband this. He's not believing her. He's trying to believe her, but he doesn't really. They call the police. The police get involved, et cetera, et cetera. So this movie, I won't give away any further details other than to say this is what I would call like a real horror film. This is, kind of Alfred Hitchcock stuff. This is real stuff. And then, to be honest with you, I'm a sensitive individual. I start thinking like, you hear all these things that women complain about, getting stalked and getting attacked and all this shit and getting looks and stuff. And I'm basically feeling, man, this I think movie represents all these horror stories that women have about getting looked at by creepy guys and how they feel and all this stuff. Like you're really seeing a movie that kind of shows that, illustrates that. And look, sometimes we try to give people the benefit of the doubt or we don't. But from the female perspective for this character, she's really going through a fucking nightmare. And furthermore, no offense to my international viewers and friends here, but this movie kind of reinforces my own paranoia about leaving the United States. Like I always feel if I were to go to some other country, I'd be at their fucking mercy. You know what I mean? AJ's got a comment. Yeah, Maurice looked really good. I mean, I guess they justify that because she's a mom, and so maybe her boobs or they're like feed portals for the babies or whatever. I don't know. Uh, yeah, very good, buddy. I'm glad that you got your new glasses, and you can go to the cinemas and read the credits. You can watch Mr. Birthday, which is a movie that I actually have a role in. It's available on streaming networks. I get no residuals from it. But you can also use those nice glasses to watch everything on Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Bottom line is this movie Watcher, like I said, if you guys go see it or if you see it in the comfort of your own home, there is a moment where your buddy, me, actually screamed. Like I actually screamed a visceral scream. This movie made me scream, which doesn't happen very often, folks. So, I mean, it's a good movie. But at the same time, it's probably not something to take your kids to. It may not even be something to take a date to. You know what I mean? Because I think most women would probably relate to this movie, unfortunately, and be freaked out by it. After the Wolf Creek films, people probably think that Aussies are serial killers that kill tourists. Man, maybe I'm missing out, buddy, but I don't think I've seen the Wolf Creek films. I don't know if that's a series of horror films or if that's a production company. I mean, look, we can't, here in the United States at least, we can't judge anyone else, buddy. We just had a horrible school shooting. Matthew McConaughey's doing this speech about it at the White House. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I see, the fucking news. There's people getting shot left and right in this town. I mean, I really like Jacksonville, but I'm considering moving somewhere else in Florida just because I feel like I'm on borrowed time in this fucking city. There's a lot of violence here, which I don't appreciate. I forgot another good part of my fucking anecdote, by the way. After I got the fucking vegan food in my belly, I'm walking, I'm walking briskly, and I hear a kiosk girl, "Excuse me, sir," and she didn't sound like that, but she, very pretty, of course, kiosk girl, and she's asking me if I use moisturizer, and I'm like, I don't, but she's like, oh, just 1 minute, 60 seconds. And she had some fucking vague European accent. I don't know if it was Armenian or whatever the fuck it was, but very attractive girl. She's wearing like a kind of a fuck me business girl outfit. Like the outfit was sexy, but like professional and showing some skin, but not a tawdry amount. Very attractive. And so she sits me down into her little chamber and she's asking me my fucking age, and I'm, oh, how old do you think I am? And then she guesses, and she undercuts the guess, and I give her the real age, and just all this crap. And then she's putting like this fucking shit on my eye, like the fucking thing on my eyeball or whatever the fuck, or and just then she's putting my hand, and she's like moisturizing my fucking hand, and all these things, and I didn't know what to say because I don't want to buy her stupid shit. I mean, if I had the money just to throw around at the fucking kiosk girls, I would, because she definitely was fighting for that money. And I guess I looked like somebody who might have some to buy her stupid stuff. But basically, she's telling me that this fucking, it basically looks like a dildo full of fucking eyeball serum. It's $1,200 online, but it's only $299 if you buy it from me today. Okay. And then when I'm basically telling her no, I'm not going to buy your stupid shit, she's like doing me the whisper campaign that she'll sell it to me for 149. It's like, okay, toots, if this thing was really worth fucking $1,200, you wouldn't be able to sell it to me for 150. So let's cut the shit. It's a piece of plastic with some fucking lotion in it. I can go to the goddamn fucking dollar store, the Dollar Tree, and I can get some nice lotion for a fucking dollar. Okay, look, see, I can moisturize for $1. So I don't need your goddamn $1,200 bullshit cream with your bullshit prettiness and all your fucking crap. She's telling me she's from fucking Tulsa, which she's not from Tulsa originally, okay? Because she sounds like she's from some island where, you know, Donald Trump imports his wives from. So I don't know what to say to this young lady except I'm not going to buy your shit. And I basically left. And of course, I'm thinking about this girl for about 20 minutes inside the movie theater. Should I have asked for her phone number? I mean, but, you know, maybe I should say, hey, do you need citizenship? Because this would not be a bad arrangement if you do. So basically, that was the story. Um, I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Probably nothing. I mean, I'm likely to return to that mall to see more movies. She had this sob story about being from fucking Tulsa for a month or whatever the fuck. And but what am I going to do about it? You know what I mean? So just interesting. All right, gentlemen. Well, Matt Lendak from New Jersey, from Rutgers. Matt Carlo chiming in. Always nice to see Matt back. Michael AJ. So I can address this situation, buddy. I mean, I didn't watch Raw, and I did see the still shot of Maurice. She looked great. I mean, the lady was in Playboy, you know, 10 or 15 years ago, in some of those periodicals that Playboy used to do for athletic women. A very attractive woman, nice French accent. She makes the Miz very happy. But I really, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. Well, been a pleasure, Laza. Laza's a very good guy. He's there in Australia making big things happen, getting glasses, working on scripts. Laza has actually enrolled me as his acting coach through the internet. We have one more session to go. I'm looking forward to that. And that's about it, gentlemen. If you need some more Mike Messier, I did do another In Action broadcast last night, episode 8, with Tommy DiNucci. You can find it on a playlist on my channel. Look for the In Action playlist. It's also on Tom DiNucci's YouTube channel. So, gentlemen, I'll be chiming in, but we had a wonderful night. If you need more from tonight, I did do the unveiling of these guys, the Kerry Von Erich pictures, everything else. So thank you very much. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel.